Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Inside Out 2 and the box office for Inside Out 2 and how it's going to be a massive wake-up call for Disney. Disney is going to have to pivot its business model because this was a one-off. Inside Out kind of was a return to form for Pixar. They went back to basics, to what worked 10 years ago, and audiences rewarded them for it.
Yeah, but imagine that. You give people what they want, and they'll buy it. They'll come running for it because they're so desperate for what they want that they'll come. Because imagine that. Just shush.
They're so bothered for it. Okay.
They're so ready. Anyway.
They're so ready for it. But it's true though. It's really not hard to win audiences back, general audiences. I'm not talking to people that follow the culture war stuff, day by day. I'm talking about general audiences, normies.
People are desperate for good entertainment for entertainment's sake that's not full of messaging. They're desperate for it. I'm sorry, but they are.
Yeah. And if Disney can deliver, you have one job, Disney. That's all you got to do. And look, your people can think whatever they think at Disney politically or, ideologically or whatever, but your product needs to be for general audiences. And Disney has not been delivering product for general audiences, and they've been failing at the box office because of it. Now they're going back to that, and they're being rewarded for it. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, this is a huge wake-up call because, whatever you have planned for Marvel, whatever you have planned for Star Wars, whatever you have planned coming out of Disney Animation Studios, you guys might have to take a look at this and be like, yeah, you know what? Let's pivot, because if we don't, we're going to have another Strange World and not another Inside Out 2. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. Yeah, woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
So it's interesting, to talk about this juxtaposed with what is going on in Hollywood right now, which is massive layoffs, massive cancellations. They're talking about potential IATSE strike, which is going to push shows back even further. And a lot of people are losing their jobs in Hollywood, in droves, we've never seen.
Well, let's look at why. Why are they losing their jobs? Because you greenlit a bunch of shit that no one watched. A lot of it agenda-driven bullshit. And then people didn't watch it.
Yeah, and that's what's going on. I'm telling you, what is going on now is it's just like tech. It's a massive course correction, because now that the free money is run out, the venture capital's run out. Now that we put people in charge, and this is where your DEI stuff comes into play. We put people in charge that really weren't qualified to run these projects or greenlight these shows or whatever, but we did it because we thought we were being diverse and inclusive, and they actually ran the company out of money. Now we have to pivot back to making money.
Well, they chased the audiences off too. You had all these shows.
They chased the audiences off.
Okay.
Gladly. They bragged about it.
But Picard, for example, how many seasons did we get before we got a good one that people actually wanted?
2.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's you all chase people away. You have Obi-Wan without Luke instead of it's little Leia and all this shit. And it's what did you expect to happen? And then for how long did you call your audience bigots because they didn't like what you put out? And now you're collapsing. Yeah. You're imploding. And now everybody's chanting survive to 25 because they're trying to get through to next year because of all the strikes and because of all the failures. You did it to your own selves.
Yeah, this is apparently a mantra now in Hollywood, is survive till 25, because people are like, if I can just hang on till 25, things are going to get better. Well, if they get better, it's going to be because Hollywood is pivoting back to what works. And I don't know why this is rocket science. I don't know why you have to explain to these studios that have been doing this for decades. All you got to do is give people what they want.
Instead of calling them bigots and instead of telling people you have to like this thing and you're a tailor person, just give people what they actually like.
Yeah.
And just mass appeal. Mass appeal, people. That's all you have to do.
I guarantee you, internally, so they had a bunch of layoffs at Pixar before Inside Out 2 came out, and a bunch of people got ousted. And I guarantee you, there were people at Pixar, probably, and we won't know for years, right? But there were probably people at Pixar behind the scenes that were probably crying about how they couldn't put more messaging in the Inside Out 2. I guarantee it, because we saw it in the last couple of Pixar movies. We saw it in the last couple of Disney animated movies. And they were probably being told, like, hey, you cut the messaging, you give people a basic story that's, I am shocked that they kept Riley hetero. I'm going to be honest.
Oh my gosh! But the internet, have you seen the comments?
They're flipping out.
Oh, she's a lesbian. She's trans.
They had like Riley's first date was the first short.
I know, but they're like losing their crap because she didn't identify in the way they wanted her to.
Because oh my God, she's a girl in San Francisco. Therefore she must. Yeah, she's tomboyish. No, she has a crush on. I guess she has a crush on a video game dude. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I'm actually tempted to go see it. I think we should go see it.
I wanted to go see it. We just haven't had time.
Because I'm like, you know what? If you guys are, this is the thing. People mistakenly think that we want Disney to burn to the ground. No, we want Disney to learn a lesson. And I think they're starting to learn the lesson. Now they're going to get their asses handed to them by Universal because they're learning their lesson far too late. And they're probably going to have a bunch of lawsuits coming their way because of their hiring practices. And then they're getting sued on the Gina Carano front too. So like they're going to have to learn a very, very painful lesson. But I do believe that Disney can be salvaged. It's just going to take a top to bottom reorganization. And basically, it's amazing when the money runs out, how quickly these companies pivot. Like, oh, yeah, well, we're going to cancel all these shows because of macroeconomic circumstances. And then you look at what they're canceling. 95% of the time, it's like a Tumblr thing that they're canceling, or somebody's fanfic, or something that's going to appeal to
anti-racist baby.
Anti-racist baby is like the first thing to get thrown overboard. Like, yeah, we don't have any extra money. We can't greenlight this shit, you know? So, yeah, this is actually a huge problem for Disney because they're going to have to look at this and be like, damn, everything else we have in the hopper right now is like full of messaging, and this one did really good.
But Inside Out's doing really, really well because it was a good movie that was true to form and what people expected. It wasn't a bait and switch like Lightyear or any of these other things. It was exactly what people wanted. I think Elemental wasn't that bad either. It's just people expected it to be crap, so they didn't go. Inside Out too. They know it goes back to what they wanted, and it pays off. They're like over 500 million globally.
Yeah. They're saying this one might actually have a better second weekend than the Mario movie, which blows my mind. Because I'll be honest, and we did a video on this before, I am shocked. I did not expect this movie to do that well, but I think I
thought it'd do well. I didn't think, I mean, I think it's doing better than I thought it would.
I was concerned because I thought what would happen is the reviews would come out and then it'd be like, oh my God, here we go. They should have called it Outside In, or something like that. Like, here we go, guys. Oh my God. Riley's parents are breaking up and they're, whatever. It was going to be like this depressing as hell, whatever, full of messaging, typical current year Disney stuff. And then when the reviews came out and people were like, no, it's actually, this is like a movie they would have made 15 years ago. And then some people that follow us actually wrote us and said, I saw it and the movie's fine. The movie's actually good. That's all you have to do.
Give people what they want.
That's all you have to do.
It's good family entertainment. Don't shove shit in it. It's all you got to do.
We saw it with Marvel Comics, and they've already screwed that up. But with Ultimate Spider-Man, they returned Peter Parker and Mary Jane to where we would expect them to be. They gave them kids, and people bought the comic in droves. And it's not hard. The Mandalorian. What did they do to
screw it up?
Apparently, they're like going, I don't know, something with MJ and is it MJ and Black Cat or MJ? And,
of course, because what's going on. We got a good thing. We have to hurry up and dick it up. I'm sorry, vagina it up.
So, but they're totally gonna screw it up. I got to look into it more. I think I read the first issue online, and then after that, I was like, oh, yeah, that's pretty good. I'll get to it when I get to it, and then I just kind of forgot about it. Most people are talking about the Energon universe now, but now they're saying that one's starting to go because they got like girl boss Scarlet. But even though she always was a girl boss, now they're like, oh, no.
Scarlet.
Yeah, Scarlet was always awesome. She was cool. But so that's a whole nother thing. But what I'm saying is, like, you do it right, people come back. The Mandalorian. The first 2 seasons, you won back jaded Star Wars fans because you went back to formula. You went back to what worked. You went back to, letting people actual Star Wars, and letting people who actually like the franchise handle the franchise, and people came back. And then you fucked it up again. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what they do. It's like, no, you need to say, look,
but
Bob,
Filoni's not doing great, and I don't know how it's going to go with him.
I have no idea. But I'm like, look, well, all you got to do is say, here's the thing. This is what our expectation is for these movies. And unless you want another close call with Nelson Peltz, you're going to have to perform.
Well, Peltz sold all the stuff. I don't think he's going to even try again. It could be somebody else, though.
It could be somebody else.
I don't think he's going to even bother. I think he's just basically like, you get what you deserve. Burn down, bitch. I think that's where he's at.
But then the irony in all this is everybody's going to blame Chapek, but all this stuff was in play before Chapek.
I know, and that's what they keep doing. A lot of things were greenlit that were the ones that kind of broke everything were under Iger. And everybody forgets that. They always want to blame Chapek for it. Chapek actually wanted to not be political. He was trying to walk back and stay out of politics, and then they pushed him into it.
Yeah, so it's almost like they knew a disaster was coming. They knew the pandemic was coming, and they knew they had greenlit a bunch of movies they probably shouldn't have, and they put him in for a couple of years just to be able to blame him for everything. And now they're like, "Oh, look, guys, we're gonna go back to."
But I mean, I'm not saying he's great because he did a lot of things. He was Chapek for a reason. But the flip side is they just listened to him and stay out of politics, like he said. They would have been in a much better place.
Yeah, stock's kind of up and down. But
it's going back up. I mean, it's not like 120 some dollars was ahead of the vote where people thought Peltz might win. Yeah. But it's going up probably because of the movie doing well.
Yeah, this isn't helping them either, though. So they've got to win with the movie, and then they've got employees suing them on both sides of it. They got Disney employees suing them over the relocation to Florida, and then they've got the whole expose on them not wanting to promote or hire white dudes for certain positions, which is probably going to lead to lawsuits. And then they got the lawsuit from Gina Carano.
They already had the one lawsuit about discrimination due to their changes in the, Reimagine Tomorrow crap and their mandates for DEI and so much such a percentage had to be hired for movies and films. There was already a lawsuit about discrimination there. This is just going to fuel that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, they got a lot of other problems, but this is a good step in the right direction. I just wonder if this was done out of desperation, not because they actually...
Well, if they let Deadpool be Deadpool, then it might have another good step in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm hoping Deadpool's good.
But... survive to 25. I'm a little concerned about next year's slate because we've got the new Captain America movie, which how many reshoots that thing had.
Oh, that's gonna be a disaster.
With Thunderbolts too.
Nobody cares about that,
and nobody cares. So I'm like, but we're supposed to also get in the next couple of years, more Toy Story, more Frozen, and those will probably do well.
Moana 2 is probably going to do good.
Moana 2, I think Moana 2 will do really well.
I think it's going to do good. I mean,
I don't think it looks that bad. For what I've seen. If
Moana 2 and Inside Out 2 do well, I mean,
unfortunately, more sequels.
That's it. What their takeaway from it's going to be like, oh, we just do more sequels. But I guess it's better from a business perspective to do more sequels than it is to be like, let's greenlight Strange World and then
why they're doing it. People don't trust them anymore for originals.
No.
The reason people are going to sequels is because they know basically what they're going to get. I mean, they kind of ruined it with Wreck-It Ralph too, but people are basically trusting Disney to go back to being Disney on the sequels. They're not trusting them with new things anymore. Like, used to be every new thing Pixar put out, everybody be rushing there to see it. And we had some great ones like Encanto and Coco and stuff that are both Pixar and Disney Studios. And for every one of those you're getting these crappy things. So now, unless it's a sequel, people aren't trusting them.
Well, even you can't with Star Wars. Like, again, you had...
no one trusts them about Star Wars.
No, you had people back. I mean, I even came back, and I hated The Last Jedi. I still haven't watched The Rise of Skywalker. But I was watching every episode of The Mandalorian until they dropped the ball of it. And actually what put a bad taste in my mouth was the Gina Carano situation, because I'm like, screw you guys. It's, this, whatever. I'm out. And it wasn't like rage quit. It was just like, whatever. Like, we can't even have this.
Well, then you knew more of that was coming. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to wrap this up.
We're going to wrap this up, guys. So there you go. I guess good on Disney for trying to pull it together.
So you need more.
You need more of this. Yes.
Less Strange World.
Yes. So they need several of these to make up for the several failures they've had over the last couple of years. So please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.